SIP trunks icon will take you to the SIP trunk center where you can create a new SIP trunk or manage existing ones. Below you will see all SIP trunks associated with your reseller account. You will see the SIP trunk displayed by their name. A description can be given to the SIP trunk as well. The domain the SIP trunk is associated with will also be displayed, along with the IP address of the SIP trunk. You will also see peak calls from the previous month and peak calls for the current month, and how many calls currently are active on that SIP trunk. To add a connection, click the Add SIP Trunk icon. You will be taken to the Add SIP Trunk window, Basic tab. Here you will see the options to name the SIP trunk. The name can be the IP address of the connection, a host name. The domain field is the domain the SIP trunk is going to be associated with. The description allows you to add a note to the SIP trunk to help you identify the trunk. Relay media allows for the audio to bypass the core module and be sent directly from one device to another. Setting the connection with yes sets the connection to relay the media through the core. Don't care will have the media bypass the core and be sent directly to the destination. Never will also have media bypass the core and be sent directly to the destination. Below is the trunk type option. Setting the trunk type to bidirectional allows for the connection to send and receive calls. Locked will prevent the connection from sending or receiving any calls. This option is useful if you need to suspend a connection. Origination only will allow for inbound calls from the connection. The connection will not be able to send outbound. Termination only will allow only outbound calls from the connection and not accept any inbound calls. The control IP option allows for the connection to be configured with a static IP address the system will accept traffic from. When selecting registration required, you will see the fields for the registration credentials appear. The SIP user is where you will enter your user or account name. The password field is where you enter your password. Clicking the next button will take you to the dial plan and limits, which will allow you to select a dial translation. The dial translation is a sequence of digits used to route calls based off the source and destination of the call. The dial permissions is a sequence of digits used to deny or permit calls based off the destination trying to be reached. If you are unsure which dial translation or dial permission to select, talk to your system administrator. Never configure a connection dial permission with permit all. Only use permit all for testing purposes and immediately change it when you are done testing. Leaving permit all as the dial permission is a major security issue and should never be done. Below you will see the option to set inbound, outbound, and total call limits for the connection. If you select a dial translation and a dial permission that allows for long distance calls, it is a good idea to limit how many calls that connection can place. This way, if a device or anything is ever compromised, it will limit the number of calls they can make. Clicking the Add button will create the SIP connection. Once the SIP connection has been created, you will see it displayed on the SIP trunks page. Clicking on the name of the SIP trunk or the edit icon to the right will allow you to change any of the options you selected except for the name of the connection. You will also see the failover and header manipulation tabs appear. Clicking the failover tab will allow you to allow failover. This will allow you to send calls to an extension or a phone number if the connection is busy, if the connection has an issue and is offline, or when calls go unanswered. Header manipulation allows you to modify the SIP header, user, and destination for requests to or from URI. Delete a connection. Simply click the delete icon next to the connection.